Hi guys, Casper MMA here, and today we are back with another OKTAGON predictions video on the channel. Today giving my predictions for OKTAGON 63, Buchinger versus Nafuka. It's been a little while now since we last did an OKTAGON predictions video. I think, well, we did 62, which I can't actually remember what the card was, but I enjoy making these, enjoy watching it as well, so I'm here today to give my picks. But before I do that, if you are enjoying this content and you're not already, go and hit the subscribe button down below. It's free, guys, and it's much appreciated. So I'm pretty sure there's meant to be some other fights on this card, like some title fights I think maybe, but it's been changed because of like cancelled fights and injuries and stuff, a lot of injuries and stuff on this card. So we have 10 fights anyways, Buchinger and Nafuka. We kick things off with the first fight of the night, which is Thomas Ciganik versus Kevin Enns. Now, I'm going to butcher every name on this card, so be prepared for it. Now, Ciganik, or yeah, I don't know how you say that, Ciganik, from, I think this card is in Slovakia. And he's from Slovakia, this man. Record of 3-2. 2 losses, one to George Staines, the Englishman, who's undefeated right now. But he's on a 2-fight winning streak. Both wins by rear naked choke. His opponent, Kevin Enns, also 3-2. So both similar records. He is coming off a loss, a split decision loss to Sharben, which isn't too bad really. And then he had a win by KO before that. So it's a close one, this one. Both guys just had a few losses, had a few wins in their careers so far, but I am going to go with Enns to get this job done. I do think he's a good fighter, went split decision as well in his last fight, so could have won that one. So I'm going to go with Enns to get this job done. Now, moving up the card to Veronica Smolkova versus Milady Simplicio. Now, Smolkova, 4-3 from Slovakia. She is what was the record? 4-3. She's on a 2-fight winning streak, both by KO. You don't see that much in women's MMA, but she has lost a few before that as well. So she has a few wins here and there, a few losses as well. Her opponent, Simplicio from Brazil, 4-1. Looks pretty good, only 23 years of age as well, on a 4-fight winning streak. So she's looking pretty decent, and I'm going to pick her. You know, she's only lost her first professional fight, and since then she's looked pretty good. I mean, she's got a finish in there, a couple wins by decision. She looks decent. So I'm going to go with Simplicio to get this job done. Now, moving up the card to Roman Paulus versus Jan Elonen-Kulmala. Now, bloody hell, butchered that name. I mean, Elonen-Kulmala is 18-12 from Finland. 35, so he's been around a bit. He's been in a lot of different promotions. Was 0-2 in OKTAGON before. Lost to Farid Basharat and Jacob Tichota. But he's on a 2-fight winning streak at the minute, both by finishes as well. You've got to question the level of opponents he has been beaten. But anyway, still 2 wins. His opponent, Roman Paulus, is 10-4. Decent record to be fair, only 24 years of age as well. My computer's about to die there. Whoops. Currently 9-3. In OKTAGON on a 2-fight winning streak. He lost to Topalaj, who's pretty good to be fair. But he has got 2 finishes by submission in a row. So I do think that Paulus is going to be the better fighter here. I mean, he looks pretty good. Decent record as well. So I'm going to go with Paulus to get the win here. Now, moving up the card to Rousal versus Jack Maguire. Now, Rousal, 3-1, 5-1 in pro boxing as well. He's pretty good. But literally all of his wins have come by decision in his career, I think. I mean, looks like it. I mean, he's had a few KOs in boxing and that, but in MMA, he's had a lot of decision wins. He won decision loss as well. But yeah, he seems like a decent fighter, especially boxing and kickboxing wise. Jack Maguire on the other hand, Irish, 2-1 professionally. So both guys don't have too much MMA experience really. Maguire lost his first fight, but then he's on a 2-fight winning streak at the minute. So it's a tough one to call this. I mean, both guys look decent prospects, to be fair, but I do think Rousal is going to get this done. I mean, I've seen his last fight, and he looked pretty good in that one, so I feel like he's going to get this job done. Now, moving up the card to Aaron Aby versus Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Now, Zhumagulov, I think he was in the UFC for a bit. I mean, he went on a horrible run of 3 split decision losses in a row to Jeff Molina, Charles Johnson, and then Joshua Van. Then eventually got kicked out of the UFC, and then he had 2 fights in something called Niza or something, but he won both of them pretty convincingly. So he's back. and he's fighting Aaron Aby, the Welshman. Aby, I don't know how you say his name, but he's 16-9. So not the best record really. He's coming off a loss to Sam Creasy. He never really gets a win streak going, but in recent times he's lost 3 in a row, won 2, lost 1, won 1. He's not had the best record recently, lost quite a lot by decision. So I do think that Zhumagulov is going to get this job done. I mean, he's come out the UFC, looked really good on these regional levels. So I feel like Zhumagulov is going to get the win here. Now, moving up the card too. František Fodor versus Damian Lapilus. Now, I was looking at Damian Lapilus' record, 17-18, which looks pretty bad. But I mean, half of his fights I was looking at have all been overturned because he was he had some kind of he failed a doping test or something. He was on some kind of performance enhancing drugs. But like literally, his last like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights or something have all been overturned. But I mean, he has got some good wins in there, to be fair. Like I think that Kane Kruszewski guy was in the UFC for a bit as well. And to be fair, he doesn't look too bad of a fight. I mean, he's lost to Charles Jourdain. He's lost to some good level opponents for us. He's fought a lot of people, to be fair. This guy, I don't know how old he is now. He's 35, Lapilus. And I don't know if them performance enhancing drugs have actually helped him out. You know, he might come in here and look really good. But he's fighting Fodor, who has lost. He's 10-8. So both these guys don't have the greatest record, really. Is coming off a KO loss. I mean, when this guy loses, he gets KO'd. I mean, he's had 6 wins by KO, but he's also lost 5 times by KO out of his 8 losses. So I feel like Lapilus, I mean, if he's actually tested not positive for drugs this time, I feel like Lapilus will find a KO here, and I think he's going to KO Fodor in this fight. Now, moving up the card too. Karol Rysavy versus Gjoni Palokaj. Now, no way I've said any of them names right, by the way. That is impossible. But Palokaj, 9-3 record. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. 2-0 in OKTAGON as well. Just won his last 2 fights by decision. I mean, he looks pretty decent, to be fair. Only lost 3 times as well. His opponent, Rysavy. Rysavy. Definitely doesn't pronounce it like that. But he's coming off a KO loss to Palaj. I mean, half the guys in this card seem to have fought to Palaj. I mean, he's everywhere. But yeah, he's not got the greatest record recently. He's 3-2 in his last 5. Also KO'd Fodor, we just talked about. Lost to Hussein Keita. I mean, he's been KO'd quite a few times, this guy. So I feel like what's his face? Palokaj is the better fighter, got the better record, and I reckon Palokaj is going to get the win here. Now, moving up the card too. Robert Pukac, I don't know how I say that, versus Ammari Diedrick. Now, Diedrick, don't know how I say that, but he's English. Very, we love English fighters here. 5-2 record as well. Only 2 losses coming by decision. He's got quite a few KOs in his fights as well. He's coming off a KO win, to be fair, over Homek. Before that, he lost decision, but he looks pretty decent, to be fair. You know, I'm always going to back the English fighters here. But yeah, his opponent, Robert Pukac, 32 years of age. He's coming off a win, but before that he was on a 3-fight losing streak. Then he had a win. Then he was also on another 3-fight losing streak as well. So I don't think that Pukac is the best fighter really. So I think the Englishman is going to get this done, and Diedrick is going to get the win. Now, moving up the card to the co-main event. Mate Kertesz versus Leandro Silva. Now, Silva, 20-12. Used to be in the UFC back in the day, back in like 2015 or something like that. Yeah, 2014, 2015. Had a record of 3-4. One no contest to Drew Dober. But then he went into doing some boxing and stuff, and lost quite a lot in boxing. Now he's back to MMA, and he actually won 2 fights in a row in Cage Warriors. Actually some good wins as well, to be fair. Then he lost a split decision in his last fight, so he's still got it. You know, I think he's getting on. I think he's like 38 maybe or something. But his opponent, Kertesz, 15-7, on a 2-fight winning streak as well. Some good wins in there, where he just beat Diedrick, who we just talked about. He also beat Stoles, who's pretty good. But yeah, it should be a fun fight, this one. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, Silva, he's old, but he's still got it. But I do think that Kertesz is going to get this job done. I feel like he's on the 2-fight winning streak. He's going to get the confidence coming into this fight. And I think, yeah, Kertesz is going to win it. Now, moving up the card to the main event. Ivan Buchinger versus Hafeni Nafuka. Now, I'm pretty sure I picked both of these guys to lose their last fights on whichever cards they were last on. Buchinger did lose, but then Nafuka actually won, which is pretty good. I mean, I thought Polaj was going to win it, but he managed to beat him, which is fair enough. So it's a pretty good win there. His only loss coming to Bogdanovic by decision, but apart from that, Nafuka looks very good. Both these guys have got lots of wins by submission. I mean, Buchinger 43-10. I mean, what a record that is. That's crazy. 38 as well. He's been around a long time. It did get KO'd in round number 1 to Eskiev, which I actually predicted. So you gotta follow my picks, guys. I get it right. And before that, I mean, he's literally he's got 25 wins by submission. Like, he's never lost a submission. He's got 7 losses by KO. I mean, I think Buchinger is very good. I mean, he is coming off a KO loss, which is what influenced my pick quite heavily. I mean, it was how long even ago was that loss? It kind of been that long ago. His last loss was in September, so yeah, it was like literally like 2 months ago. So I mean, I feel like Nafuka is going to come in here and get the job done. Might KO him, I might not. I mean, most of Nafuka's wins by submission anyway, so I just think Nafuka is going to get this job done. So there are my predictions for Octagon 63. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my picks. And that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, remember you leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.